just going to be more practice on our 1-digit repeating decimals. So remember, our first step is to go ahead and write it out as x equals our repeating number. Okay, so 6 is the only number repeating there, so that's why our repeat ends only over the 6. Step 2 is to go ahead and multiply each side by 10 to the power of the number of repeating decimals, which there's only one, so we're going to take each side times 10. So this now becomes 10x, and times 10 would shift that over one place. So it becomes equals 20.6 repeating. Okay, step 3 is to subtract the original, so that's really a 1x. So minus 1x equals 2.06 repeating. Okay, and we have to remember, if we're subtracting this longhand, that this is really a 6 and not a 0, because the 6 was repeating. So now when I subtract out, 6 minus 6 is going to cancel that out or give me 0. And 6 minus 0 is 6. 20 minus 2 is 18. So really that's 18.6. And 10 minus 1 gives me 9. So now we'll go ahead and divide by 9 to get x by itself. Okay, we cannot leave a decimal in a fraction, so we'll take each part of our fraction times 10 or move my decimal over one place. So that becomes 186 over 90. As a mixed number now, 90 would go into 186 twice, which would leave me with 6, because that was 180 over 90. Each of those numbers could be divided by 2 or 3, so actually I could divide by 6 over 6, which leaves me with 2 and 1/15. Okay, if I want to check myself, yes, I could pull my calculator out. So I'll go ahead and do that. If I took 1 divided by 15, it should give me 0.06 repeating, and it does. So my final answer should have been 2 and 1/15. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, this one's got a negative on it, so that's that tricky part when we get into subtracting. We have to remember we're subtracting a negative. Okay, so the first step is to write it out as x equals negative 1.2 repeating. Okay, then we only have one number repeating, so we're going to take it times just 10. So 10x equals, shift it over one place, so remember it's going to be a 2 behind there. So I'm going to erase that so I don't accidentally think that that's my original equation. So 12.2 repeating by moving our decimal. Okay, step 3 is to subtract our original, so 1x, and this was a negative, by the way, I can't forget that because that's what I tend to forget. So equals negative 1.2 repeating. Okay, so when I subtract that out, it's kind of like doing 12 minus 1.2 because they are both negatives, but I'm subtracting a negative. Okay, calculator is going to help you out. In my head, I know that I'm going to end up subtracting between the numbers and I'm going to get 11. So I have 9x equals 11. So then we're going to divide by 9. Okay, so when I did that, if you're using your calculator, you have to remember to punch it in as negative 12.2 minus a negative 1.2, and that's going to still give you 11. Okay, so that's how I got that 11. So divide by 11. I can't leave it as 11 ninths. So 9 would go into 11 once, which puts me at 9. I have 2 left over. 9, and then I have to remember it was originally negative. So my final answer is negative 1 2 ninths. Okay. Why don't you guys go ahead and try this one? So pause your video, work through it, and then check back in just a minute. So you should have gotten x equals 1/9 for that one.